Welcome to Stokastic MLB Live Before Lock. I'm your host, Neil Orfield. You can find me on Twitter at PlayerQDFS. I'm here with Adam Scherer. You can find him on Twitter at ShitMyMoneyDFS. And this show is sponsored by Underdog Fantasy, which is your one-stop shop for all your best ball fantasy and pick'em prop needs. Part of the reason that we have Underdog as a sponsor today is because we have a great deal with Underdog right now. You can see our deal with Underdog pinned at the top of chat right now. You can get first deposit matched up to $100, but also on the basketball slate tomorrow, they have essentially a free bet. I mean, it's not exactly a free bet, but I think it's the line is James Harden half a point. You have to take over under half a point for James Harden. So you want to get in on Underdog right now because when you get these free bets, you kind of have to take advantage of them. So make sure if you're not already signed up for Underdog, use the link that is pinned in chat right now or in the description of this video when you sign up to get your first deposit matched up to $100. Also, while you're coming in, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that notification button so you can get alerts when our shows go live. Adam, my morning started today. I went out to get some coffee because we're starting the show an hour later than I was anticipating. Went out to get some coffee at a store at the bakery across the street from me. And it was very busy at the bakery across the street. So I was in line. And while I was waiting, there's self-serve coffee while you're waiting to get a pastry. So I did that. And I went to get some coffee. And I was the last person in line. So I was like, there's nobody behind me. I need to do it right now. Just grab some coffee. And then I see a family coming up, like a whole family through the window. I was like, they're going to come in. So I rushed back and didn't put the cap on before I got back in line. So have you ever tried putting a cap on a coffee when it's not on a table, like on a surface?
I mean, probably. I can definitely picture, I think, where this is going.
Yes, it went exactly as expected. I spilled coffee all over myself. I thought I had it on and then forced it and it just spilled coffee all over myself. So that's how my morning started. How's your day going so far?
Not bad. Got MMA lineups in with a minute to spare, so that was good. Did find out I think there might be a Baltimore Orioles player that lives in my building.
No way. A Baltimore Orioles player who actually plays for the Orioles?
So I don't know for sure, but I was taking the elevator down to get coffee, and somebody got in the elevator, and I don't know, when anytime I've seen a pro athlete, you look at them and you're just like, you look different. You don't look like an actual human. And this guy just gets in the elevator, probably 6'3" or something. And I just did a double take, you don't look normal. And so I was like, I wonder if he's on the O's. And so I went back and looked at their roster. And if it was the only guy on the roster that looks like the guy in the elevator is one of the relief pitchers. So could have been him or could have just been some random dude. But the only other time that recently that I've done that was I was at a coffee shop and Spencer Watkins, who pitches for the Orioles, was in line ahead of me. And as soon as I saw him, I was just I didn't recognize him right away, but I was like, you look different. And then I kind of looked at him again and I was like, oh, that's I actually do recognize him. But it was easy to verify it was him because he has a bunch of tattoos and you could just Google it and be like, yeah, same tattoos. Yep. But this guy was just not tattooed or anything. And it was like, yeah, might have been him, might not have been, but cool if it was.
That Spencer, that's just like when I ran into Kyrie Irving. The only time I've ever had, or I guess I saw Rudy Gobert, but I immediately recognized him when I saw Kyrie Irving when he was in a place that I didn't know he should be when I was in Arizona. And I was like, I didn't know the Nets were playing there. And I saw this man that looked exactly like Kyrie Irving. And I was so confused by it. And then I had to Google it. And I was like, oh yeah, all the tattoos match. So that was how I identified that it actually was Kyrie Irving, just completely caught me off guard. That's really cool though. And as Aggressive Goose said, you're gonna have to get that inside info from the reliever who's hurt, who's maybe having cramps, or I don't know exactly what.
I mean, chances are there's just some really good looking guy in my building that doesn't play for the Orioles, and now I think he plays for the Orioles. But
yeah, that's most likely the case. Brad Wright says best description ever of seeing a pro athlete. Yeah, they look different than regular humans. Even regular jacked humans, it's different because it's a different type of muscle. You don't look as loose in the limbs. I don't know exactly what it is.
Right. Yeah, it's just different. I didn't look at him and go wow, you look really strong. It was just you look like one of the most insanely in shape people I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's a different kind of in shape there. All right. Well, we have 8 games to get through. Lock is in 55 minutes now. So we can start on those 8 games. Actually, let me refresh because I just got new lineup in Fantasy Cruncher. So give me 1 second here. Have you looked at this slate at all? Do you have any overarching thoughts on it?
No. I do know that we have weather concerns in the Mets and Nats game. That's it.
And that's the only game we have weather concerns?
For this slate, yes. I think so.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. We will jump in with Tampa Bay at New York Yankees. We got Shane McClanahan on the mound for the Rays, Nestor Cortez for the Yankees. Starting with the pitchers, Adam, any interest here?
Yeah, two good pitchers on the mound. Two tough matchups, obviously, but McClanahan, very, very good. Cortez also good. Would go to the McClanahan side first just because he's not facing Tampa. And I mean, Tampa is just hitting the shit out of everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. 4.3 implied run total for the Rays, even against Cortez. Only 3.7 for the Yankees. So I think Cortez is playable, but would be looking to McClanahan first. He is first in top 2 pitcher percentage on the slate. Cortez coming in 5th. Only 7% ownership to Cortez. So he is coming in a little bit under-owned. He's also $1,500 less expensive. But the problem with Cortez is you have Sandy Alcantara in the same price range facing the Reds in Miami. So clearly you're going to be looking to get there first. So is the field. You're getting like a 49-7 ownership gap between the two. But outside of, being a contrarian tournament play, it's tough to get to a lot of Cortez. McClanahan, again, looks like the best option if you can find the salary to get to him.
Okay. And then how about the bats in this game?
Nothing there for me. I mean, I guess obligatory Tampa Bay is really, really good mention, but nothing that I actually feel good about.
It's so weird to me. So like you don't include the Yankees in that group. I mean, they have Judge back. So now like at some point when they have all their guys healthy, will the Yankees also be in that group of
when you get
stacked?
like put Stanton back, put Stanton where DJ LeMahieu is or Harrison Bader is. And like I can't say a team that has Isaiah Kiner-Falefa hitting 6th is a team that like you can play against anybody.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
Granted, the Rays have Taylor Walls hitting 6th, so maybe not the best example here, but
and how rank the 4 sides of the game?
McClanahan 1, either Rays or Cortez 2, other 1, 3, Yankees 4. It is a little bit weaker lineup than usual for Tampa since they are facing a lefty. No Brandon Lau, no Josh Lowe, but still.
Okay. Lot of good comments in chat that I want to touch on. First of all, Stephen Lubitz said he told me not to take the under on Gabe Vincent assists yesterday. He was correct. Should not have taken that under. I did not anticipate that he'd go from 22 and 23 minutes to 32 minutes. So we didn't project him for enough minutes, I guess. But it's a difficult rotation to project, that Miami rotation. So didn't work out. I still think I'll probably do it again the next time out. But good call there, Stephen. And also, Steven says Kyrie often talks about running into some DFS guy in Arizona. Yeah, I'm sure he talks about me all the time. He also had a run-in with Eric Lindquist, where Eric Lindquist told him to keep it down, and Kyrie said "fuck off" or something along those lines. So different interactions there. Humboldt says athletes see me and say that's what a non-athlete looks like. I like that. And then Chunk That Dude says I work at a professional soccer stadium. The athletes I see on a regular basis don't pop out to me as too different, unfortunately. He says athletes in quotes. Professional soccer players are like the most athletic people. They're just
but they're usually small and just like
so they don't have the same look, but they're definitely athletes. So I don't think the quotes are necessary, but I hear what you're saying. Like they're not the same as baseball, football, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Jason Campbell was the first one. So like I used to bat boy for one of my first jobs was bat boying for the Orioles AA team, and Jason Campbell threw out the first pitch when he was the Redskins quarterback, and that was one where I'm standing with like guys that play AA baseball, and Jason Campbell standing there. It's just like you are on like a different level from like these guys. Like it was insane.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just and seeing basketball players in particular, they're just so huge that it's obviously completely different thing. Dave Carroll says, I work in Trauma Center in LA closest to SoFi. Donald Parham came in after that bad landing. Man, that was so scary, the Donald Parham. And I love Donald Parham. He, A, was an XFL player, and I'm a obviously huge XFL fan. B, he was in my second biggest win ever in DFS. He was in the lineup. So I have a lot of reasons to love Donald Parham. And that was a really, really scary fall. So
I don't remember. I still remember Javid Best when he was at Cal.
I don't remember that one. Donald Parham was in the end. I think it was 2 years ago now. And it was in the end zone. I think I don't know if he caught the ball, but he just came down and he was just like doing the hand shaky thing. I can't even remember exactly what it's like.
Did that too. I guess I probably just didn't see the Parham one, but Best was like the first time I'd seen it. He got flipped going in for a touchdown when he was when he was still in college, and he just landed and his whole body just like tremored basically.
Yeah, I hate seeing that. That's I know you and Lofty love seeing like sick athlete injuries. I don't know.
I watch those replays constantly.
Yeah, I'm like, I do not want to see that shit. Keep that off my screen. But different kind of thing. Also, Adam, if you had projected Josh Hart for 33 minutes last night. How many people would have? What percentage of the field would have played him if we had projected him for 33 minutes?
More than 7. I projected 24 and still didn't get any, but I did also just not get the Quentin Grimes, which was nice. That's why
Yeah,
I
I
replied to
know.
you on Twitter. Like
I
Hart's doing a
figured.
good job as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I played a ton of Josh Hart once again. I thought he was a good play just because of the volatility in his minutes. He got the minutes. He did fine. He got put up like 25 fantasy points at 5,300, which on that slate was good enough. But man, if he had just gone off, I could have had a big night there. So kind of disappointed there. All right, I guess we can move on to the second game of the slate. We do have to get through 8. We got Seattle at Detroit. Bryce Miller on the mound for the Mariners. Alex Faedo for the Tigers. Any interest in these pitchers, Adam?
Bryce Miller, yeah, 8,100. I mean, his salary's doubled in, I guess, 2 major league starts, but he started out much lower than he should have been. This is a highly regarded pitching prospect. He's facing the Tigers, solid matchup, 3.8 implied run total. Happy to get to him. He's coming in 6th in top 2 pitcher percentage. He's playing 13% ownership. So he looks pretty good. On the other side, Alex Faedo, formerly somewhat highly regarded pitching prospect, never panned out. Not looking to get to him here against Seattle.
Okay. Chunk That Do says, sorry for the quotes. Most athletic humans I've ever seen. I'm also great friends with Trevor Story. Grew up with him in Irving. Kid is just massive. I don't think of is Trevor Story massive? He's a shortstop. I don't know. Maybe in my mind, I just think of shortstops as being like not as big as
I want to say
positions.
he's like 6'3", 6'4".
Okay. That's cool. That's cool hanging out with Trevor Story. I had another comment, but I forget. Lineup generator, I believe, should be back up. We were flagged earlier that it was not working, and I flagged the team, and within like 10 minutes they had it back up and running. Apparently there was an issue overnight, but it seems like they have solved it, so it should be working out. And Nimfufu says, can you select which slate to play on lineup generator? No, it does just default to the main slate right now. Actually, I should double check if it is considering this the main slate, or we'll look at lineup generator later. I'm not sure if it's this slate just yet, but let's talk about the bats in this game first.
6'2",
Seattle
215, by the way.
6'2", 250. Okay, that's a big dude. Yeah. Any interest in Mariners or Tigers bats?
Some interest in the Mariners for sure. Faedo just not a particularly good pitcher. Mariners do have plenty of good bats in their lineup. They are first in top stack percentage. Small margin. There's a few teams grouped together up at the top, but they are first. They're also pulling the most ownership. So, you have to find other ways to be different, but they certainly look good here against Faedo.
Okay. How would you rank the 4 sides of the game?
Miller 1, Mariners 2, Tigers 3, Faedo 4.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's defaulting to the evening slate, I believe. Zach Gallen's not on this slate, right? He's on the evening slate, I believe. So yeah, currently lineup generator is working for the night slate rather than the day slate. And we've had a couple questions about whether we have another show later. I think this is the only MLB show that we have today. I guess we can touch on, maybe we'll just go quickly through the night slate, just talk about favorite stacks, like rather than going game by game. Does that sound like it would work for you? Do you have any thoughts here, Adam?
I wasn't even listening, but
I could see I could see on your face that you were not listening.
Jesse Jess is about to fight, so I was making sure I had that up.
That's fun. That's a fun one to watch.
Yeah, one of my favorite.
Same.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think you said we could just go through top stacks and stuff for the main slate, and yeah, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, we'll go through this slate game by game, and then for the main slate, we'll just go top stacks, top pitchers, home run picks, and if you have any questions, we can answer those as well. And we'll also look at lineup generator, which it will be for that evening slate, so we can look at some of those lineups as well. All right, did you already rank the 4 sides of Seattle, Detroit?
Yes.
We really do a good job of listening to each other on this show. All right.
I mean, I just spent 5 minutes talking about how good looking some dude in my building is. I had to make sure I at least got the
good point. That's right. All right. Cincinnati, Miami. We've got Derek Law on the mound for the Reds. Sandy Alcantara for the Marlins. Any interest in these pitchers, Adam?
Yeah, Alcantara looks great. Good matchup against the Reds. Reasonable price tag. Typically goes deep into games. Strikes out enough guys. Like, he's not an elite strikeout pitcher, but he's also not priced at this point to be an elite strikeout pitcher, at only 9K. So that looks good. 22% strikeout percentage for him so far this year. One of the most popular pitchers on the slate. Actually, the most popular pitcher on the slate on DraftKings at 49%. So really like that. No real interest in getting to the other side.
Derek Law. Okay. How about the
Law opening again? Stout, whoever Levi Stout is following that.
Okay. What about the bats?
Not interested in the Reds. Interested in the Marlins. Bullpen games aren't the most appealing, but still a 4.7 implied run total. Still a lineup that has plenty of power, especially at the top. Chisholm gives you stolen base upside in addition to power. Solaire's got a bunch of power. Arise, not a lot of power, but he's a phenomenal hitter overall, and he's not super expensive. Bottom of the order isn't very good, but it's also really cheap. So, this is a team that you can get some good pitching around a pretty high upside stack.
All right. And how would you rank the four sides of this game?
Alcantara, Marlins, Reds pitching, I guess.
We're going so much faster through this slate than we did yesterday. Like we took us like 45 minutes to get through 3 games yesterday. Now we're flying through this. And maybe we will have time to go game by game. We'll see for the later slate what we have time for. All right. Cubs at Twins. We've got Hayden Wesneski on the mound for the Cubs, Joe Ryan for the Twins here in Minnesota. Any interest in these pitchers, Adam?
Joe Ryan looks decent. He's third in top 2 pitcher percentage at 23%, pulling 40% ownership. So, again, going a little bit over owned, but still a good enough play. Wesneski on the other side, not really looking to get there. There will be no Max Kepler today for the Twins. We don't have their lineup yet, but they did just announce that he is going on the 10-day injured list. So he won't be in the lineup, makes it a little bit weaker. But still, with Wesneski, I think the only real case to be made for getting him is that he's 5,700 and that's a cheap price tag, but you probably don't really need the savings here. And there are some other mid-range arms that give you upside and I think look a little bit better.
All right. And what about the bats in this game?
The Twin side is still somewhat interesting. I would certainly like it better if Kepler were in. Wesneski hasn't been wrong date. Wesneski has been, okay since coming to the majors, but 169 expected ISO to lefties, 131 to righties. I still think, if you look to Polanco, Kirilloff, Gordon, Gallo from the left side, those guys are still solid. Obviously, Buxton and Correa, it goes without saying, are good plays. Middle of the pack team for me, 4.3 implied run total. Not looking to really get to the Cubs on the other side against Ryan.
Okay. There was a comment a while ago that I remembered, and now I'm losing it. Somebody want to talk about what to do with stacks, but I'm sorry, I missed. There's a comment that I wanted to touch on that I cannot find now, so I'm going to skip over it for now. But we also got a super chat from DFix. Says, love you guys. Thanks for everything. X out Mets in Washington. What do you think, Adam? Are you Xing out that game?
I'm playing it by ear. I think it's likely they either postpone early or they just wait all day and play tonight.
Okay. Yeah. That's probably how I'll play it too.
Like it seems like it's pretty much either they can sit in a 3-hour rain delay to start the game and then just play a night game, or they can just tell their fans in an hour not to bother coming, and then we'll know.
Okay. Yep. Sounds good. I'm only playing one lineup today, so I don't know if I'm going to play that one anyway. But yeah, we'll see. Love you too, DFIC. DFIC's been just absolutely crushing it. He doesn't play high stakes, but he just dominates the lower stake stuff. And he's been on a tear. So thank you for the super chat there, DFIC. Did you go over the bats already? Cubs, Twins?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you rank the 4 sides?
Joe Ryan, Twins, Cubs, Wesneski.
Okay. Atlanta and Toronto, we've got Bryce Elder on the mound for the Braves, Jose Barrios for the Jays. Any interest in the pitchers?
A little bit in Barrios just because of the price tag. Don't want to go too crazy with either arm. Elder's up to 9,500, which is a very, very difficult sell against a tough Blue Jays lineup. But Barrios at only 7,400, still a tough matchup with the Braves. But he has struck out 24.5% of hitters so far this year, 3.22 FIP, showing some signs of maybe getting back to being the pitcher he was prior to last year. 27.7% K percentage to righties this year, only 21.4% to lefties. He's still giving up a lot of production to lefties. 271 expected ISO, 385 expected WOBA to that side of the plate. So once again, Matt Olson looks really, 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 really good. Other than that, you don't have a ton of left-handed guys to worry about. Like, Albies, Harris, Rosario, those guys are all fine to good, but Acuna's right-handed, Riley's right-handed, Murphy's right-handed. So not that they can't do damage against Barrios, and not that like you would skip those guys if you're stacking the Braves, but it does at least favor Barrios that they are right-handed. It would be a lot scarier if you had like an extra Matt Olson in the middle of the order.
Yep. All right. What about the bats in this game? Atlanta, Toronto.
So I really like Olson individually, and I still think Atlanta stacks are fine. This is another team that just has so much upside. It helps that you have a catcher batting cleanup who is really good, and Sean Murphy. That's typically a tough position to fill. So 8% chance of being the top stack there, 6% ownership. Toronto coming in middle of the pack, 7% chance of being the top stack, 3.5% ownership. So that's pretty interesting. I don't think Elder's a bad pitcher, but you just have so much upside at low ownership for Toronto. The problem is that they are expensive. They have a very low chance of being the top value stack. So you're probably going to have to either sacrifice elsewhere, whether it's, one of your pitchers or your secondary stack, whatever it may be.
Okay. How would you rank the four sides of the game?
This one's weird because like the Blue Jays have a 4.7 implied run total. They look really good, but they're tough to get to in DFS. I guess I would say either Braves or Barrios 1, the other one 2, and it's a function of pricing. And then Blue Jays 3, Elder 4.
Okay.
But again, like if you can get to the Blue Jays, I like the lack of ownership.
Makes sense. Tankenstein. First of all, I love that name. Tankenstein is a great name. Says, hi guys, newer to this channel. Can you rank your starting pitchers on FanDuel if possible? I missed it. Yeah, we'll do that at the end of the slate breakdown. We'll go through our favorite pitchers and we can do it on FanDuel as well. No problem. I agree with Blitz. Hopefully Gallo plays. Yeah, I'd like to see Gallo play, and Aggressive Goose. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward why Clark is a fan favorite. All right.
She also seems really cool. She's one of the only MMA fighters I follow on Twitter, and she's entertaining. Seems really cool.
Irish or
Australia?
Australia. That's right, Australia.
Yeah. Shrek actually, I don't know, Shrek with numbers after his name, whatever.
4224 maybe.
Yeah. Met her somewhere. Said she was really, really cool in person too.
Cool. What do you think of Shrek's strategy of playing batters off the bench?
Fuck that guy.
I cannot believe that. I'm like, my God, winning $100,000 with relief with what's the word? Not relief with a batter who didn't start.
Not starting
batters. Yeah, that was pretty nuts. Good for Shrek. All right. Mets at Washington. So this is the game that has weather concerns here. As Adam said, we're probably just gonna have to keep our eye on it, see if we want to play it. Any interest in Joey Lucchesi or Trevor Williams?
The price tag on Lucchesi is okay at 7,100. He's had success in the majors in the past, then dealt with a bunch of injuries. Obviously, small sample this year. 20.5% strikeout percentage is mediocre. 5.2 FIP is bad. 1.8 home runs per 9 is very bad. So I don't love getting there. He is right now only projected for 2% ownership. I think you could make the case where, Barrios is pulling 11% at the same price. You could turn some of that into Lucchesi if you want, but you certainly don't have to. On the other side, not particularly interested in getting to Trevor Williams here.
Would you be less inclined to play them because of the weather issues?
I mean, sort of. I'm not really viewing this as weather issues because I think we're just gonna find out early. I'm not. Okay. I'm not really worried about an in-game issue. I think we're gonna find out early. But yeah, I mean, they're definitely. I don't like them anyway. So if you are worried about the weather, I wouldn't worry about just taking them out of your player pool.
Okay. And then what about the bats in this game?
I like the Mets bats in particular. Trevor Williams has ridiculous splits going back to last year. They've carried over to this year, sort of. He's given up power to righties this year, which he didn't last year. But going back to last year, only a 10.5% strikeout percentage against lefties, 29% against righties, 156 expected ISO, 275 expected WOBA to righties. Actually, really, really good numbers for him against righties going back to the start of last year. 240 expected ISO, 370 expected WOBA to lefties with that low strikeout percentage. So I really like targeting him with left-handed bats. You're likely to have Nimmo, Lindor, McNeil, Beatty, all from the left side, plus probably Vogelbach. And it's not to say you can't get to Alonso or Marte either. So I do like the Mets bats if this game plays. Harder to get to the Nats. I think from a value standpoint, they still look decent. You have Lane Thomas leading off for cheap. Meneses is cheap. Ruiz is cheap. The whole lineup is dirt cheap. So, if you're trying to pay up for two pitchers or you need, for example, with Toronto, the Nats probably work as a secondary stack. But tough to, say you actually like the Nats.
Okay. And how would you rank the four sides of the game?
Mets 1, probably Nats 2, just for the value. Lucchesi 3, and then Williams.
RJ Domingo, no, we do not have MLB lineup generator for the early slate. Currently, it can only handle one slate at a time. At least it's my understanding. My guess is that at some point we will be able to break it up by slate, but I don't know that for sure. But yeah, so currently we just have it for the main slate, whatever that is on each day. And today that is the evening slate. Aiden, this is actually the question that I wanted to get to before that I forgot about. I said, how many stacks would you roll out with 5 lineups? So if you were playing 5 lineups, Adam, are you typically going to be inclined to play like 1 or 2 stacks across those 5 as your primary stack, or are you going 5 different stacks? Do you have any opinion here?
I don't necessarily care. Like, in 20 max, sometimes I end up, playing like 10 to 15 of the same team.
Yeah.
Not always, just sort of depending how it works out. It really comes down to, like how risk averse you are as well. Obviously you're going to, if you're playing 5 lineups and you play 5 different stacks, you have a better chance of, one of them actually doing well. But the flip side is, you're playing 5 lineups. If you play 1 stack and they do well, you have 5 shots at, actually winning. So it kind of just comes down to how risk averse you are.
Yep, I think that's the perfect answer. It's really a personal preference, and in terms of measuring your risk tolerance, because if you just go with 1 stack, there's a pretty good chance you're going to lose all your money, and then there is some chance you're going to win all of the money. So it's just a matter about
even like not, even if you don't get first, like you're still, when you play 5 stacks, you're not going to have that many games where or that many slates where like you cash 4 times or 5 times. If you play 1, like you can min cash 5 times and 2, 3x depending how they do.
Yeah. Brett Hanebooth says, "Hey guys, appreciate your content. Wonder if you could give your best picks in MLB tiers. If we have time, we'll do that later. It's a little bit tough to break out of just talking about the main slate, just because we haven't prepared for that at all, and you have to kind of, I don't know, it's a little bit tougher. So we'll see if we have time later on to look at some tiers." All right, Texas at Oakland. We've got John Gray on the mound for the Rangers, JP Sears for the A's. Any interest in these pitchers, Adam?
They're both somewhat interesting. Sears is really inexpensive, so that's nice. He has been pretty good at getting strikeouts this year, 24.7% strikeout percentage. He's been really bad at everything else, 5.6 FIP, 2.4 home runs per 9. He's gotten hit really, really hard, but he is cheap. He does get strikeouts. On the other side, you have John Gray going up against a poor Oakland team. Gray has been really bad so far this year, 17% K percentage, 5.6 FIP, 1.7 home runs per 9. Facing the Athletics does typically help to fix that, but still not, and he's only 6,800. So I don't have any confidence in either pitcher, but Gray pulling 24% ownership because he's cheap and facing the A's, and prior to this year has always been a pretty good pitcher. Sears pulling 11% simply because he's $5,900. They're both perfectly fine value pieces that I don't have confidence in.
All right, Adam, we did get a super chat from Brett Hanebooth with the same question. So we'll go over tiers in a minute. But what about the bat? We'll finish this game first. What about the bats in Texas, Oakland?
I like the Texas bats here. They're coming in 5th in top stack percentage, pulling 10% ownership, decent chance of being the top value. And like I said, Sears is getting strikeouts, but that's pretty much all that he's doing well. And Texas does have a lot of good hitters in this lineup. So far this year, 292 expected ISO to righties. He's been pretty much lights out against lefties in a limited sample. That also goes back to last season. Same kind of splits, giving it up to righties, not giving up a lot to lefties. But Marcus Semien is going to look good. Adolis Garcia, Josh Young, Jonah Heim, all hitting from the right side. Robbie Grossman's cheap, should still be hitting second. So the Rangers look pretty good. On the Oakland side, they're kind of similar to the Nats, where you're never going to feel great about getting to Oakland, but Gray, 245 expected ISO to lefties this year, 160 to righties. They're cheap. You can use them to balance out some more expensive stacks. But, again, you're not going to feel great about it.
Okay. And then how would you rank the 4 sides of the game?
Texas 1, Gray 2, probably A's 3, Sears 4.
Okay. So yeah, Brett sent us a super chat, said, "Great content, favorite picks in MLB tiers." Appreciate the super chat, Brett. I was just pulling it up, but I don't see that there are any currently available tournaments in tiers for the early slate. So I just I'm wondering which contest you were looking for. Maybe you already entered it, so you're looking for some tiers picks in the early. Just let us know which slate you wanted to look at for tiers, and we'll take a look at that. All right, final game of the early slate is St. Louis at Boston. We've got Steven Matz on the mound for the Cardinals, Chris Sale for the Red Sox. Any interest in these pitchers, Adam?
Yeah, you're still just getting a cheap price tag on Sale. Obviously he's had some issues with power this year. He's allowed 1.3 home runs per 9, but he's also striking out 28.1% of hitters on this slate. That puts him behind Shane McClanahan and Bryce Miller. And Bryce Miller obviously has only made 2 starts. So still one of the best strikeout pitchers on the slate. 3.95 FIP is solid. Not the best matchup, but the Cardinals have also had plenty of issues this year. They do have a nearly 5 implied run total. The wind's blowing out in Boston. It's warm, not great pitching conditions. Very, very risky spot for Sale, but that's also keeping his ownership down. If this were, better pitching weather, a better matchup, both, he'd be a lot more than 15% owned at 7,300. Like, he's $500 more than John Gray, and he's getting like 60% of Gray's ownership. So, you're seeing all of that factored into the ownership. In terms of top 2 pitcher percentage, we still have him 4th from the top. And the 3 guys ahead of him all cost at least $9,000. So in tournaments, I like him. Scares the shit out of me, but I like the upside he offers. On the other side, not particularly interested in getting to Mats. The case that you would make is that he is only 1% owned and he's a decent pitcher, but I'd rather go to some of these other cheap pitchers we've already talked about.
Okay. And then how would you rank how much interest do you have in the bats in this game?
Definitely interested in both sides. Talked about how risky Sale is. The upside is there, but the downside is also there. 5-run implied total for the Cardinals puts them near the top of the top stack stool. They're coming in 4th, right under Boston, but 10% chance to be in the top stack, 13% projected ownership. Boston, 11% chance to be in the top stack, 11% projected ownership. And again, the hitting weather is just really favorable here. These are 2 pitchers that normally you wouldn't see a 10.5 total in this game, but it just sets up as a good offensive environment.
Okay. And how would you rank the 4 sides of this game?
Boston 1, Sale 2, Cardinals 3, Mats 4.
Perfect. All right, so we've made it through. All right, so let's look at Brett says that he's reserved a tiers lineup for the early slate. So let me see what the options are on that slate. I can pull up the cash game. Adam, I'll ask for your opinions here and see if you have any strong opinions. We got Ronald in tier 1. We've got Ronald Acuna, Vlad Guerrero, Bo Bichette, Aaron Judge. Do you have an immediate thought here? We've got the 2 Blue Jays guys against Bryce Elder, Aaron Judge going against Shane McClanahan, and then Acuna against Barrios.
Acuna.
All right, Acuna in tier 1. Tier 2, we've got Marcus Semien going against Sears, Randy Arozarena against Nestor Cortez, Paul Goldschmidt against Chris Sale, Rafael Devers against Steven Matz, and Pete Alonso against Trevor Williams, I think. I forget which Williams this is, but yeah, Semien, Arozarena.
Give me Pete Alonso. If that game rains out, probably Semien.
Okay. Tier 3, we've got Matt Olson going up against Jose Barrios.
You don't have to read the rest, I don't think.
All right. Olson, Yoshida, Garcia, Chapman, Lindor, Buxton. You want Olson?
Yeah, I mean Buxton, Lindor are good, but yeah, give me Olson.
All right. It's a tougher matchup against Jose Barrios. I'll trust your instincts there. All right. Tier 4. It looks like Low Low. Josh. Is it Low? Whatever. Josh Low.
Josh Low and Brandon Lowe. Neither one are in the lineup.
Yep. Low is not starting. We got Sean Murphy, Yandy Diaz, Jonathan India, Julio Rodriguez, Jazz Chisholm, and Austin Riley.
Julio Rodriguez.
Tier 5, we've got Cody Bellinger, Alex Verdugo, Anthony Rizzo, Brandon Nimmo, Ozzy Albies, Gleyber Torres, Nolan Arenado, and Starling Marte.
Arenado.
And then finally, Tier 6, Wisdom is not starting. So we have the Ian Happ, Jared Kalenic, Dansby Swanson, Anthony Volpe, Cal Raleigh, Jorge Polanco, and Carlos Correa.
Kalenic.
All right, perfect. Made it through our tiers. All right, let's do our favorite. If you're playing 3 entry max contest and you want to play 3 different stacks, which 3 stacks are you going to?
Mets, assuming the weather cooperates. Atlanta. And probably either Seattle or Boston.
Okay. Oh man, looks like Jessica lost. I had a lot of her.
I saw the first 2 rounds and it wasn't going well.
Yeah. All right. Bummer. All right. 3 favorite pitchers.
Alcantara. Alcantara, McClanahan, and Ryan are the best 3 at ownership, and everything factored in. I think I like Alcantara, Miller, and McClanahan the most.
We were asked to do pitchers for FanDuel as well. It looks like FanDuel is a different slate. Like it's two four-game slates, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. FanDuel's weird. I like Sale the most. He's highest in top pitcher percentage. He's getting less ownership than John Gray.
Okay. So Sale is your favorite on that slate. Do you have any thoughts on the FanDuel very early slate? Is it our top is Shane McClanahan? It's Shane McClanahan, Sandy Alcantara, Joe Ryan, Nestor Cortez are the top, and Bryce Miller, I guess.
You kind of have to go McClanahan at 12% ownership with a 20% chance of being the top pitcher. I'm a little surprised that we have him ahead of Alcantara given the matchups, but
right.
Yeah, I mean 46% ownership coming into Alcantara compared to 13 for McClanahan.
All right, perfect.
So like I guess if you're playing cash, you play Alcantara, but in tournaments I really like that pivot to McClanahan.
Okay. Do you have a home run pick from the early slate on Matt Olson? Okay, of course. All right, let me see. I can't cheat and use the top batters tool for the early slate, I don't think. So I'm going to have to think about this for a second. Let's see. I guess I could just go with Buxton. All right, let's see. Give me Julio Rodriguez on the early slate. All right. So we can talk a little bit about the later slate as well. But first, guys, I do want to tell you that our sponsor today, we have a different sponsor today. It is Underdog Fantasy, as we talked about, your one-stop shop for all your pick'em prop daily fantasy best ball needs. They, of course, have the best ball contest going right now, BBM4, which is a $15 million total prize pool. Just an insanely cool contest. You can win $3 million if you win that contest. I think you get $2 million or $1 million for second place in the contest as well. But then part of what's cool about Best Ball Mania for this year is that they also have regular season prizes, which to me makes it a little bit more fun. I assume they're going to have some kind of a like standings that they update every week as well. Last year they just kind of sent out a tweet showing you the top 500. I'm assuming with more prizes, the top 10,000 actually get paid out this year for the regular season as well. I assume they're going to have some kind of a leaderboard there that'll be kind of fun to track. So that's a really cool contest. But the reason that we're talking about Underdog today is because of this promo they have going on right now, where they have essentially a free pick here. 0.5 points is the line for James Harden. Adam, any interest in playing James Harden in your pick'em contest for the NBA slate tomorrow?
Sounds good.
Yeah, we're going to take that over on James Harden, 0.5 points, essentially a free bet for your parlay card. As you can see, you can win up to 20x your entry fee if you get all of your all of your 5 picks right on Underdog. If you have to make at least 2 picks to make a card, prop card on Underdog, and if you get those 2 picks right, you're going to 3x your entry fee. If you make 3 picks, you get them all right, you're going to 6x your entry fee. You make 4 picks, get them all right, you're going to 10x, and then 5 picks, you're going to 20x, and you get 1 for free. Essentially, with maybe James Harden twists his ankle on the first play, but it's pretty unlikely. He's probably going to hit the over on 0.5 points. So you basically have a freebie bet on Underdog right now. The link is in chat right now. I've pinned it in chat. The link to use to sign up through Stokastic. And when you do sign up through Stokastic, if you do use that link, you're going to get your first deposit doubled on Underdog up to $100. You just use the link that is in chat or in the description of this video if you're watching later, or just use promo code Stokastic when you sign up to get your first deposit doubled on Underdog. Of course, you must be 18 plus to play, 21 plus in Massachusetts or Arizona, 19 plus in Alabama or Nebraska. And if you're concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER. But I love Underdog. I'm excited whenever they are the sponsor because I play every different type of contest on it. I'm playing best ball constantly. I like doing the slow drafts. I've got like 15 or 20 slow drafts going right now. If you don't have the patience for slow drafts, you can do fast drafts. But I like doing the daily contests, and I really like these pick'em contests as well. Really cool way to play because I can't do regular sports betting in Minnesota. If you don't have access to regular sports betting, you can probably play these pick'em contests. They are a lot of fun. And as you can see on the screen right now, you can play across several different sports. So if you just want to play MLB, you can just choose MLB and do only MLB props. You're just picking the higher or the lower on players in MLB, but you can also mix MLB, NBA, every different sport you want to play here. You can mix them in your cards. And of course, I would recommend taking advantage of this James Harden free play for your first card. Really cool concept there. So check out Underdog Fantasy if you haven't already. I'm seeing in StreamYard that I can't see my screen right now. I assume that you guys can see it. But anyway, I will we'll go back and we'll talk a little bit about the later slate as well, Adam. We'll maybe check out MLB lineup generator for the late slate since it is set up for that as well. All right, let me just get back. Oh yeah, we got some comments here. I don't even know how much I had of the other fighter going up against Jessica Clark. I'll have to.
I didn't have her.
I had some. I played 35 lineups. I have at least a little bit. Andrew wanted to know what's Bryce Miller's ownership like on the early slate. That is,
it was like 13%.
Okay, so not super high on Bryce Miller. Oh yeah, it was. I had the wrong. I didn't even pull up. Yes, we have 13%, 14% chance of being a top 2 pitcher. So it looks okay there. Man, that price tag came up quickly on Bryce Miller. I guess the matchup is great against Detroit.
Yeah, and also it started somewhere it shouldn't have started.
Yeah, also true. All right, let's talk a little bit about the 6-game evening slate, and we're not going to go game by game here because we've just got 15 minutes left and we got to get our lineups in. But let's take a look at that slate, and actually I'll pull up lineup generator so we can talk about it through that lens to start. All right, hang on one second. Going to add this to the stream and go over to lineup generator. Just refresh, make sure I have the most updated information. Okay. Do we want to lock any players? Zach Gallen, Julio Urias, Dylan Cease, Tyler Wells, Andrew Hauser. Anybody we want to lock, Adam?
No, I don't think so. Just let it run and see what's showing up.
I figured that was going to be us. Okay, so we are running. Actually, let me. I didn't get through. I think I didn't start from where I wanted to start. So let me do this over. Just going to MLB lineup generator, and again, guys, you can get this for your first week is just $4.50. You get your first week for 50% off when you sign up for lineup generator. So check it out if you haven't already. I will put the link in chat, but you can choose between different stack types. I already chose DraftKings, also available for FanDuel. So if you haven't yet checked it out, hang on, let me find that link real quick, and I'll post that in chat.
Weird Twins lineup.
Oh, is it?
No Buxton, Gallo leading off, Trevor Larnach's back.
Wow, Gallo leading off. That's cool. I guess you didn't pick Buxton anyway for tiers, so you don't have to change that pick. All right. I just put the link to lineup generator in chat. If you use this link, you're going to get it for 50% off. So your first week is going to be just $4.50. Yeah, could be Travis said 21 of my 75 lineups had her. Are you talking about the winner or Clark? I had some of both.
I think I had like 40% Clark and none of the winner.
Where do you find lineups? So chat, El Negro Loco is posting them. The news god is posting them in the Discord is one place you can find lineups pretty quickly. All right, I just posted the lineup generator link in chat. Again, you can get it for $4.50 for your first week if you use that, but I'm going to take a look at it. So we already chose DraftKings. Now, Adam, what do you want to do here? Should I just do all stack types or 5-3, 5X, 4-4? What do you think?
All stack types.
All right, I like that too. I generally prefer all stack types. Just let it give me the best possible. Yeah. You like to do balance, correct?
Yeah. At least see what it gives you. If you think it's too chalky, you can always switch.
Okay, we're going to skip lock in anybody. And the first lineup that it gives us uses the full 50,000 salary here. We've got Zach Gallen and Brandon Bialek as the pitchers here with, looks like, what do we have here? Milwaukee, Philly. What do we have? 5-man Phillies stack. Yep, 5-man Phillies stack. 3-man Brewers stack. Yeah, this one looks like it's like fairly chalky, but like, again, nobody's like, we have several that are like in the teens in terms of ownership. We don't have a bunch of like 20 to 30% owned players. And then of course, Bialek at under 15% kind of brings down the ownership a little bit. What do you think of this? Zach Gallen and Brandon Bialek. Do you like that combo?
I don't really know anything about Bialek. Like I recognize the name. I think it's good. Like I like the bats that we got to. The price tag looks good. So yeah, looks good to me.
Yeah. Gallo looks better in cash starting off for sure, Rant. So I don't know.
I mean, like I don't know if I would play him or not. I didn't build a cash lineup, but
right. But it's not like it's not a negative for him.
We all find out that he's hitting 6 spots higher in the order, and now we're taking him out.
Yeah. Debating if you can put him back. Yeah, I haven't looked at what kind of lineups I'd want to play in in cash games, but certainly it's a
Yeah,
positive.
my only point was if you liked him enough to have him before, you should like him
Right.
more now.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to look at the next lineup here, and I'll save this one. I think it looks okay. All right, second lineup, we've got Zach Allen and Adrian Hauser. How do you feel about Adrian Hauser here?
Not a great strikeout pitcher, decent pitcher in general. As long as he's cheap. Yeah,
And it looks
cheap.
like we've got the full Coors game stack here with the Phillies and Rockies. Looks like we have a. Is this a 4-4? 4-1, 2,
It's pretty
3.
appealing. You know that you'll get a 3-2 game, but it feels good going in.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It looks like a good lineup. Crone only 8% owned is kind of nice. Not super chalky really for Coors. I mean, we got Doyle at 4% ownership, Randall Grichuk at 10%. Not actually all that chalky for a Coors slate here. With Zach Gallen, of course, being a relatively chalky but very good pitcher. Adrian Hauser, not sexy, but 16% ownership and allows you to play this full Coors stack. So like this lineup quite a bit, and it's leaving actually 800 on the table. That's really interesting. Wonder if there's any pitcher we could sub out Adrian Hauser for here. So you have the option in lineup generator to sub out anybody you want. So if I sub out Adrian Hauser, what can I get up to here? Anybody? Ranger Suarez at 1% ownership. He's pitching in Coors, so obviously we're not doing that swap. Ronzi Contreras. Yeah, I don't see anybody that I like immediately jumps out to me, which makes sense. It's probably going to give you the best lineups here, but nobody that I think I really want to swap out Adrian Hauser for. So I'm going to cancel this player swap. And I'll just save this lineup. I do like that. And looks like we get another. No, this one. What is this? Five Rockies and then some one-offs. Looks like Philly, Baltimore, Milwaukee. Yep. So this is a 5-0 stack with Zach Gallen and Julio Urias. I actually like this one too. It's two good pitchers in Gallen and Urias. 5-man Rockies stack, and then we get Adam Frazier for your Orioles. We got Edmund Sosa in Coors also, and then William Contreras for Milwaukee, fill in that catcher spot. Looks like a good lineup as well. What do you think of this one, Adam?
Who's the top Gallen? Yeah. Yeah, I like getting the Colorado side. They're usually lower owned. You have the two good pitchers there. Frazier's cheap. Yeah, it looks good to me.
Yeah. I mean, as expected, these are all lineups that have been vetted already. In these Stokastic sims, they ran 10,000 sims, and the only lineups you're going to get in the lineup generator are lineups that they have found to be plus EV in the sim. So over the long term, these lineups are going to make you money. Doesn't mean they're going to make you money every day, but it's kind of cool that you can go through and find lineups that you like and that are already vetted for being like balanced in the way that they should be, project well enough, not super chalky. These are lineups that have found to be plus EV in the long term in the sims, which is really cool to have this done for you. So it's no surprise that we are liking these lineups. All right, I'm going to go through. We're not going to go through every lineup. I'm going to save some and show you what happens again at the end. If I save all of these, and actually I'm going to discard a few just for to show you what you can do. So it's going to give you 20 right away, and looks like I saved 14 of them. Yep, I saved 14 of the 20, and you can see what your exposures are. So now I'm getting to a ton of Edmundo Sosa, a bit of Trey Turner, Bryson Stott, a lot of players that I'm getting to high exposure. So if you don't want to have that high exposure, you can then go to get more lineups and look through it and just try to find, you can find 6 more lineups now. Look through the ones that maybe don't have the players that you don't want to have too high of exposure to, and add those ones. And I'll just go through. Save 6 more. So now I've got 20, and I didn't really obviously pay attention there to who I was getting there, but you can kind of filter through, like, who do you want to get more or less of, so you don't have, if you don't want to have 75% Trey Turner, you can make that choice and only choose lineups second time through that don't have him, etc., etc. And then of course you can export to CSV, upload into DraftKings. Really cool product here, brand new this week, and seems to be working well already. We've already had some winners. I saw somebody just won 15,000 using, I guess that was the NBA lineup generator. Somebody just won, but you're definitely going to have the opportunity to win some money using these lineups as well, because again, they have been vetted. These are all plus EV lineups according to the Stokastic Sims, best tools in the business, and making it really easy to have some great lineups out there for you. All right, Adam, we're not going to go game by game again for the evening slate, but let's talk about just if you were going to, on the evening slate, play 3 stacks. You're just playing 3 entries. You want to do 3 different primary stacks. Which stacks do you think you'd go to?
Not sure at the second. I need a minute.
Okay, sounds good. We will give Adam a minute to figure out who he wants to play in the evening slate, and I will go back to regular screen. Let me pull up the top stacks tool. Actually, I can pull that up on the screen too. We can take a look at some of the top stacks for the evening slate since we're not going game by game.
I like the lack of ownership coming into Colorado. Milwaukee looks good. Phillies, obviously. KC at relatively low ownership is kind of nice.
Okay, so you like the both Coors stacks, which obviously makes sense. You're going to like the Coors stacks there, and then Kansas City. What was the fourth one? You gave me 4 there, right?
I don't remember. It was the top 3 plus Kansas City.
Okay. Give me a minute. I'll actually pull this up for you guys so we can take a look at what the tools are saying in the morning. Obviously, it's going to change somewhat throughout the day, but give you an idea of who's going to look good on the evening slate. Since we're not going to go through it game by game, might be helpful. All right. Starting with the top stacks. 1 second here. All right, so we've got top stacks pulled up for the evening slate. These are what we're seeing right now. Not a huge surprise. Man, Philadelphia, 20. That's actually kind of a surprise to me. 27% chance to be in the top stack on what this is a 6-game slate. That's pretty huge to have a 27% chance and some positive leverage there. So, as Adam said, they look pretty great. Colorado actually not getting much ownership, looks really good as well. So a lot of cool options here. And then at the bottom, we still like Pittsburgh. Would you play any Pittsburgh against Tyler Wells, Adam?
I think it's fine. Wells is decent. He's not great. Like, he's not somebody I'm going out of my way not to take hitters against.
What about the White Sox? We got 5.9% ownership, 6.8% chance to be in the top stack, 9.6% chance to be in the top value stack. Any interest there?
Sounds fine.
All right. Looks good. Looks good in the tools at least. All right. 3 favorite pitchers. I'll pull up the top pitchers tool as well. Do you have thoughts on your 3 favorite pitchers for this evening slate?
Gallen. This is tough. Most of the guys at the top that are getting ownership have pretty tough matchups. Gallen, Urias, $8,800 cease. Tough matchup, but broken price tag.
Corey Jefferson says, anybody just see that bar fight on UFC? No, I don't know what you're talking about. They both went guns blazing, ended in 14 seconds. Oh, shit. There was a fight that just ended in 14 seconds. Like, this is an actual fight, not a bar fight. That's I'll have to check that out. So yeah, some good pitching options on the evening slate. All right, home run pick, Adam, and here's where I am going to cheat with mine. You give yours first, though. Who do you like on the evening slate?
What'd you say?
Home run pick for the evening slate.
Oh, I have no idea.
Are you just watching MMA right now, Adam?
No, I'm trying to build lineups for the early.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense too. We'll end a couple minutes early as well. All right, then
I hadn't had a chance to even look at the night slate, so I don't know off the top of my head.
All right, then I will. I'll give my home run pick first. Not cheating at all here. This is legal. All right, I'm going to go with Kyle. No, we can't do Coors. Damn it. I'm going to go with Fernando Tatis. Kind of surprising me that he's number 2 right now in the home run odds against Julio Urias.
This is a really weird slate. There's like a lot of decent pitching. Give me Rowdy Tellez.
All right, Rowdy Tellez. I like that. All right, that is our home run pick. Jesse says, stop talking about the night slate, 50 minutes. We already finished talking about the early slate. We went through the whole slate, gave you the entire breakdown of the early slate, and people were asking for the night slate. So if you're interested in the early slate, if you have questions, feel free to ask, but we're actually going to be closing in a couple minutes. People wanted to talk about the night slate. So we talking about that. We already did a full breakdown of the early slate. We went game by game, gave you our favorite pitchers, favorite bats, favorite stacks, and a home run pick. So I don't know if you have any other questions, feel free to ask them, but we are going to be closing up in a minute here. I think we do have one more deal going on. I think we still have this Bet 365. Let me double check that that's the case though. If you haven't yet signed up for Bet 365, you should check that out as well. Let me just double check that we still have that offer going. Yes, we do. Sorry. Not Bet 365. We have a deal. We have an offer going with Bet MGM that you should take advantage of. You can get 1 free month of Stokastic Plus Platinum and your first bet covered up to $1,000. paid back in bet credits when you sign up, make a deposit, and make your first paid wager at BetMGM. It has to be at least $10, but whatever your wager is between $10 and $1,000, you're going to get that covered. So if you lose the bet, you're going to get bet credits back for the amount that you bet in. So really great deal. They're up to $1,000, obviously. And if you win the bet, you're obviously just going to get the money. You're not going to get your money back as well in bet credits, but you're going to get, whatever money you would have won. So it's a really safe first bet up to $1,000. And on top of that, of course, you get the deal Stokastic plus Platinum for a full month. That's a $120 value. All the tools that we're talking about all the time. To me, that makes it kind of a no-brainer. It's two great deals for the price of one when you sign up at BetMGM using the link in the description of this video, or using promo code. What is the promo code? Platinum Sub, all caps Platinum Sub, one string together, Platinum Sub, when you sign up. Of course, legal age for gambling in most states is 21 plus. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. But if you are in a state that has BetMGM available and you have not yet signed up, that really is a no-brainer offer. Highly recommend signing up for that. Solution Sports says Will Smith home run. Yeah, that's a good pick too. All right, Adam, I know that you need to get your lineups in. We've got 4 minutes left. I still have to do my single entry lineup as well. But do you have any final thoughts?
Not really. It's pretty wide open slate. Make sure you keep an eye on the Mets weather. Again, I'm expecting that they either postpone early or they just wait it out. But yeah, keep an eye on that.
And this is the rare day where you're not getting any more content from me or Adam today, as far as I know. Yep. Getting the rest of the weekend off. No basketball show later or anything. Just enjoy your day. Enjoy your MMA if you're in that. Enjoy your MLB. It's at XFL tonight. We have the XFL Championship game. Play some Showdown tonight. That'll be fun. But again, thank you guys very much for watching. And again, if you have not hit the like button, please do so. Helps us out a lot if you hit that like button. But yeah, thanks for watching. Good luck in all of your DFS today.